If you went and asked my kids right now, what's your dad like? I want to hear those answers. You know, for some of you, if some stranger or a school teacher asked your children, hey, what's your mom and dad like? You probably wouldn't like the answers. That's the truth. So you got to be the example. You know, at school, if those teachers asked your kids, they're going to say, oh, dad just sits on the couch all day. Dad's grumpy a lot. He yells at mom. Welcome back to another episode of the Unstoppable Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Michael Crane. We're here crushing it in the Unstoppable Podcast studio in the HQ, beautiful Santa Barbara, California. And I got a really good episode today. I'm going to talk about being a father, the most important role in my life. I love being a dad. And I want to speak to all you men out there who have children. I want to share with you some things that have really helped me to establish beautiful relationships with my kids and to put them at an advantage in life. So before I get into it, I want you to share this episode with somebody who you know is a father, a young father, a father with older kids, it doesn't matter, or an individual you know who's going to have kids one day. Share this episode with them. I'm going to tell you guys what's worked for me. And mind you, I'm a guy who came from a broken home. I'm a guy who didn't have the father that he needed. I know that pain. I know what it's like to grow up not having the leader you need, not having the father figure you need, not having that relationship, and how it put me at a disadvantage. The trauma, the pain, the emotional distress I went through because of it, I know that pain so intimately. And because of that, I'm doing everything right. You know, I still remember what it was like to just want my dad to be sober. I still remember what it was like not to have that time with him. I still remember what it was like to have him break promises over and over and over about things he was going to change or things we were going to do together. And those things scarred me, but they scarred me in a good way because now they're memories that I could draw upon every day to be the man my family needs. So the first thing I want to talk about is being the example for your children. This is something that you do. You don't even have to say anything. In fact, I just saw a clip that Brad Lee put up, and it said that 80% of the things that your kids take from you are things they observe, not the words you say, but the actions that you display. 80% of your children's behavior is going to be influenced by your daily actions. So it doesn't matter necessarily what you're always telling them to do. Are you doing that in your own life? Are you being a good person? Are you talking respectfully to others? Are you on time? Are you pursuing your dreams? Are you a good husband? Do you talk to your wife with love and affection? Or are you arguing with her, right? The kids see everything. So my number one goal every day is to be an example, not just to my kids, but the world. But of course, at home is where the most of the impact is going to take place because they're living with me. They see me every day. Right? It's really easy to get on social media and put out a message. A lot of people do that, but they're not living in integrity back home. They're not actually doing that work every single day. For me, I am, because I know my kids are always watching me. So I know that they're going to say, Dad was a good man. Dad liked to work out. Dad was healthy. Dad was always with us playing. Like if you went and asked my kids right now, what's your dad like? I want to hear those answers. You know, for some of you, if some stranger or a school teacher asked your children, hey, what's your mom and dad like? You probably wouldn't like the answers. That's the truth. So you got to be the example. You know, at school, if those teachers asked your kids, they're going to say, oh, dad just sits on the couch all day. Dad's grumpy a lot. He yells at mom. Or dad yells at us. When we leave our toys out, he's always mean, right? Or are they going to say, dad's coming home with energy. He's playing with us. He's taking us places. He's spending time with us. You know, dad's teaching us things. So for me, I know that fitness is important. I know that nutrition's important. I talk to my kids about believing in themselves. I talk to them about how to treat other people, whether it's an adult or another friend. So I'm always leading by example, okay? That brings me to my second point is in order to really have a good relationship with your kids, you got to pay attention to them. Are you on your phone when they're talking to you? Are they telling you about something that's important to them and you're just going, yeah, oh, really? Cool. You know, as parents, we do a lot. And sometimes mentally you're fatigued. Sometimes there's stress. Sometimes you've been doing stuff all day long and you just don't have the energy. But look, when your kids are talking to you, put your fucking phone down and just pay attention. Give them eye contact. Make them feel important. Make them feel like the most important and special person in the world. And the reason this is really critical is because the way that you show them attention is going to then be interpreted in their own brain about their level of importance. And a lot of people that I talk to don't have a sense of self-worth. And they can trace it all the way back to not feeling important around their family members growing up, specifically their parents. Their parents didn't show interest in the things they liked. They didn't ask them about school or sports. Their parents were more monitoring their behavior versus being really involved in their upbringing. So if you're a parent and you're not really showing your kids affection or paying attention to them and like really looking at them in the eyes when they're sharing with you and telling them how great their schoolwork is or how cool their toys is, if you're not making them feel special and important, they're going to go into the world feeling like they're lacking. And when somebody's feeling like they're lacking or their self-worth is compromised, it's really hard to live the optimal life. It's really hard to crush at life. They're always going to feel like something's missing, and that thing that's missing is a part of them. So pay attention to that. Now, the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to raising your children to be the best dad, right? We talked about being the example. We talked about paying attention to them. Well, talk to them. Actually have conversations. And don't just talk to them like they're little kids. Talk to them like they're fucking smart, like they understand what you're talking about. Talk to them like you would an adult. Don't cuss, don't be vulgar, don't talk about things that are irrelevant, but treat them like they're intelligent. You know, my children, they're 4 and 3, my youngest ones, and I'm shocked at how smart they are and the questions they ask and the conversations that they can carry on when I'm engaging with them. You know, but if we treat them like little kids and little babies, like after the age of 1 or 2, like they're smarter than that. And they can retain more information. It gets their little brains working. They get curious. They ask questions. They want to know all these things, you know. They want to know everything in the world. And so when kids are doing that, don't just dismiss them and tell them to go play. Carry that conversation on. Talk to them about stuff going on in the world. Prepare them. Talk to them about what to do in certain situations, what not to do. Talk to them about being a good person, what good people do and what not good people do. You know, I'm always painting that picture for my kids. I'm always helping them to understand what it's going to take to be a genuine good person in life, what those roles and situations are, and how we show up. And I'm asking them questions about what they think too, and I'm listening. Dude, you could have some of the coolest conversations with your kids ever if you just sit down and give them time to talk and you engage with them. And the last thing that I want to share, man, is my goal every day is to bring so much excitement and energy into my wife and kids' lives. Like when I come home from work, I want to come in with just a burst of positive energy into their lives. I want to go take them to the pool, the beach, the park. On weekends, we're always doing stuff. This is something I'm always cognizant of. I want to give them the dream life. That means I'm going to be the example. I'm going to pay attention to them, show them love, talk with them, but I also want to take them places to do fun things. When I was a kid, I didn't really go anywhere. I wanted to do stuff. I wanted to go to these cool places. I never went anywhere. So I want to take my kids all over the world. I want to take them to the fun theme parks. I want to take them to see movies. I want to take them to the beautiful beaches that we have in other parts of the world. I want them to travel with me and see me on stages and how I interact with people and how I coach people. And I want to give them a different type of education and upbringing than I had. I feel like that approach to life and not holding back and not making excuses and not limiting our lives, our experiences is going to be really healthy and beneficial for them down the road. And the main thing though with your kids is, dude, show them love. Show them love. And you can't show your kids love at a high level if you're not showing yourself love. And there's so many parents out there that neglect their health. They're just becoming less optimistic, less motivated. They're not doing anything exciting in their lives. How do you think that energy is going to affect your children? You're bringing that energy into their lives and they pick up on it, man. And I see so many parents who are disgruntled, who are angry and upset all the time, who are grumpy, who are stressed. And it's like, dude, I wouldn't want to be fucking parented by you. That would be miserable. So think about that. If you want to be the best parent, go look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I my best self? If not, you got work to do. Let's go.